Have you ever noticed that some people don't need to raise their voices, don't need to beg, don't need to explain, and yet the moment they withdraw, the whole atmosphere bends around them? Silence itself becomes unbearable. The absence of a reaction suddenly feels heavier than 1,000 words. People scramble, they chase, they accuse, they provoke, because your lack of response destroys their control. Now imagine if you did the same. Imagine if you stopped reacting instantly to every demand, every message, every subtle guilt trip. Imagine if you replaced explanations with silence, excuses with retreat, obedience with stillness. Do you realize how much power you would suddenly reclaim? Because the truth is, most of the world has been trained to manipulate you not by force, but by predictability. You have been conditioned since childhood to answer, to justify, to smooth the waters, to keep peace even when it costs you yourself. And here is the brutal truth. The more available you are, the less you are valued. Everything that is abundant becomes invisible. Everything that is predictable becomes disposable. And you, with all your availability, all your instant responses, all your desperate attempts to please, have unknowingly turned yourself into a tool, an emotional emergency button that anyone can press when they want attention, relief, or validation. Think about it. Who are the people who only contact you when they need something? Who reaches out when they are in crisis, but disappears when you are in need? Who gets irritated when you don't reply immediately? Who accuses you of being cold or distant the moment you stop serving their script? Are they really connecting with you or with the function you provide? Carl Jung said, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves." And so I ask you, why does it irritate people so much when you go silent? Why do they panic, provoke, or guilt trip you just to elicit a reaction? Because without your reaction, their mask falls. Without your predictability, their control shatters. And the manipulation is revealed for what it always was, a dependency on your availability. You might think exhaustion is a personal flaw, that you are weak or undisciplined or not resilient enough. But modern neuroscience tells a different story. Every emotional reaction burns fuel, glucose, neurotransmitters, energy reserves. Every unnecessary argument, every forced explanation, every attempt to prove yourself is a theft of your psychic energy. And manipulative people don't need to scream or threaten to drain you. They just need to press your buttons. They've mapped them for years. Your fear of rejection, your fear of being unloved, your fear of disappointing. And once they know the buttons, all they have to do is push, and you react every time. Do you see how terrifying this is? You are not exhausted because you are weak. You are exhausted because you are being drained like a battery by people who know exactly how to keep you predictable. They don't want you, they want your reactions. They don't love you, they love the supply you represent. And the moment you cut that supply, the mask slips and they reveal themselves. That's why your silence provokes anger. That's why your retreat creates panic. It's not that you've done something wrong. It's that you've stopped being edible. Jung also spoke of the persona, the mask we wear to be accepted. That mask is the prison of availability. It smiles when you are breaking inside. It says yes when every fiber of you wants to scream no. It replies at midnight when your soul needs rest. It explains itself as if the world is owed an endless justification for your existence. And what do you get in return? Nothing but depletion, resentment, and the quiet terror of realizing that the more you give, the less you are respected. Now pause for a moment and reflect. How much of your life energy has been wasted on explanations that changed nothing? How many nights of sleep have you lost replaying arguments that were designed only to drain you? How many times have you given more, hoping it would finally make someone value you, only to realize it made them respect you even less? This is not a coincidence. This is not bad luck. This is the psychology of manipulation. It is the law of intermittent reinforcement, the same law casinos use to keep gamblers chained to machines. Give them a small win now and then, and they will keep pulling the lever forever. That's exactly how toxic dynamics work. Approval when you obey. Withdrawal when you resist. And your nervous system becomes addicted to the chase. But here's the turning point. The moment you withdraw, the entire game collapses. The moment you stop being instantly available, the illusion breaks. Because your silence forces people to confront something they fear more than anything else, themselves. When you don't reply, when you don't explain, when you don't play your usual role, they are left alone with their own emptiness. And that is unbearable. That's why silence is power. It is not absence, it is amplified presence. It is not weakness, it is sovereignty. It is the refusal to participate in games designed to strip you of energy. And here lies a paradox. The more you mature, the less you speak. Because you understand that every word is an investment of psychic energy, and not everyone deserves access to your truth. But don't be naive, silence has a price. When you stop being available, people who only valued you for what you provided will call you cold, arrogant, selfish. They will smear you, guilt you, accuse you of having changed. And they are right, you have changed. You are no longer functional to their scripts. You are no longer a mirror that reflects their illusions. And yes, you will lose people. You will be misunderstood. You will be rejected. But what you lose is nothing compared to what you gain. Because in that silence, a new kind of power is born, the power of becoming whole. Carl Jung called this individuation, the process of becoming who you really are, not who the world demanded you to be. Individuation requires withdrawal. It requires what he called sacred isolation, a retreat from the collective masks so that you can finally hear your own voice. This is not depression, it is purification. The silence that first feels unbearable becomes the soil in which strength grows. And here's the brutal truth that no one wants to say. As long as you are available to everyone, you will belong to no one, not even to yourself. But the moment you reclaim your energy, the moment you cut the strings, the moment you decide that not everyone deserves access, you stop being predictable. And in a world addicted to controlling you, unpredictability is freedom. So I ask you, how many years of your life have you already wasted being the emotional emergency button for people who never showed up for you? How much longer will you allow yourself to be drained by those who don't even deserve your silence? How many pieces of yourself will you keep giving away in the hope of being loved when real love does not demand self-abandonment? Because here is the reality, people don't respect what is always available. They don't value what is always accessible. They don't love what never withdraws. Scarcity creates value. Distance creates respect. Mystery creates presence. And the day you stop being available is the day everything changes. Not because the world suddenly became kinder, but because you finally chose yourself. And this is where individuation begins. Not in more arguments, not in more explanations, but in silence, in withdrawal, in the terrifying, liberating decision to become a mystery. So tell me, are you ready to be misunderstood, rejected, even hated, if it means finally belonging to yourself? Or will you keep being the puppet, pulled by strings that others have tied into your wounds? Because the choice is yours. Always has been.